All right, check this out. We just got some terrible news about the US economy, so our desperate president decided to use his presidential leverage in the only way he knows how, by hammering out all caps Truth Social posts, clearly flagging his weaknesses, clearly flagging that he is desperate for prices not to raise so his approval rating doesn't go lower and lower. And he also tweets about Vladimir Putin. He then asks certain companies not to raise prices as the tariffs come into effect. He tweets about Jerome Powell once again. And then finally, he tweets about the 2020 election being stolen. Now, I'm not going to read through all of these, but I do want to lay the groundwork and then explain why the US economy is not in a good position. I want to explain exactly how we got here, but let's just start here. So early this morning, Trump sent out his first post. It says, "Whoever had control of the auto pen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal by the moment. It is a major part of a real crime, the presidential election of 2020 being rigged." And then when I click on it, this is a long, all caps Truth Social post. I mean, put this dude in an old person's home. No offense, but at this point, I don't want the president of the United States sending out all caps Truth Social posts. It says, "Committee of political thugs given a full and a complete pardon by the person who wielded the illegal power of the auto pen." All of this is false. Obviously, the 2020 election wasn't stolen. Trump is going on demented ramblings, and it's scary. Now, here's the one that really sparked some concern. He then tweeted out, "Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as I said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers." There are a few things going on right here. Number one, Trump is looping back around to our argument from 2 years ago, the corporate price gouging argument. If you guys remember, Biden, Warren, AOC, everybody pointed out that certain companies price gouge and there are way larger profits than need be. And now Trump all of a sudden is taking like the Bernie Sanders, Warren position on economics. It's insane. But also what he's doing here, it's like a form of not even communism, because I don't want to throw around that term when it doesn't apply, but when the president of the United States is trying to put his thumb on the scale to set price caps or to set price limits on what companies can do and how they can sell, that's not free market capitalism. That is definitely not supply and demand. That is not capitalism at all. It's not full-on communism. I wouldn't call it that. I don't want to be like a MAGA Republican and misuse the word, but the president should not be telling corporations how to allocate their funds in this way, through a Truth Social post at least. He then says, in all caps, "I will be speaking by telephone to President Vladimir Putin of Russia on Monday at 10 a.m. The subjects of the call will be stopping the bloodbath that is the killing, on average more than 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers a week." I hate his framing. He always frames it as if both sides are equally at fault, and you guys know my problem with that framing. It's very clear that the onus falls on one side can withdraw their troops, Russia can stop the war, Russia can stop the bloodshed, Ukraine is fighting a purely defensive war. It is not equal at all. The onus does not fall on both sides. He then says, "I'll talk to Zelensky. It'll be a productive day. A ceasefire will take place, and this war that never should have happened, never would have happened, will end." Well, dude, the ceasefire hasn't taken place. You said that it would take place on day one. It didn't happen. You also have clearly gotten taken advantage of by Vladimir Putin, but I digress. That's not even what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the economy. Let's start with this. Yesterday, we learned that for the first time in its history, Moody's analytics firm has downgraded the credit rating of the United States from AAA, from AAA to AA1, which is a downgrade of the United States economy. And remember, in 2012, Trump tweeted out, "You get what you voted for. U.S. credit rating is about to be downgraded once again." Well, Trump supporters, you're getting what you voted for, because Trump's chaos is destabilizing and is actively hurting the economy. When Moody's officially downgrades the U.S. credit rating, just to back up, the last of the 3 big credit agencies have downgraded the U.S. and cut it. So when Moody's and all of them downgrade us, and they cite rising debts, unpredictability, the exact type of erratic fiscal outlook that we've seen from the Trump administration, right? So when Trump is posting, "You get what you vote for," tell that to your supporters, bro. What about this supporter, Mary Haglin? We found this post on Facebook. It's real. This is a Trump supporter. She said, "I voted for Trump and now regret it. Groceries are not going down, and now he is talking about cutting my medical insurance unless we work 80 hours a month. I honestly worked 3 jobs raising my first son and worked at least full-time with my second. Now, unfortunately, I'm disabled with neuropathy and a dead bone in my left leg. He is trying to get rid of our insurance when I can't even walk down the hill to catch a bus. Bullshit. I know some people take advantage, but I'm not one of them. Also, I did not vote for Elon Musk either to make any decisions over us. Now, what I would ask you guys for a second is I have some empathy. And I'm not saying that like you don't have empathy, but a lot of times the instinct is to see a Trump supporter and be like, ha, you voted for Trump. You got what you voted for. Now, I will point out, Trump is the one who said that. Trump said it for us. Trump is the one who said this for us. When it comes to someone like this is someone who is genuinely trying to just live on a day-to-day basis and get by, and Trump is making that harder. The thing that is so insane is that Democrats have been offering policies for decades that would help people exactly like this, that would help the average working class American. But I think Democrats at some point got too bogged down in certain types of messaging and lost the core message for people like Mary. People like Mary shouldn't feel disenfranchised by the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was made for people like Mary. I don't know what got her to vote for Trump. I'm sure it was some sort of economic anxiety. But the point is, we should have a little bit of empathy for people like this because we know damn well Trump would never have empathy. He just says you get what you voted for. And I know I said that earlier tongue in cheek, but I was basically quoting Donald Trump. And again, Moody's downgrades U.S. credit, citing rising debt. As this happens, Trump wakes up and goes on an all-caps Truth Social rant saying that Walmart should just eat the tariffs. Let's start here. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Saturday morning that Walmart should eat the tariffs instead of blaming the duties imposed by his admin on imported goods for the retailer's increased prices. His comments were in response to the world's largest retailer saying this week it would have to start raising prices later this month. They said Walmart shoppers to face price hikes as Trump tariffs hit. And Trump always views this as a hostile political act for some reason. Like when Amazon said about a month ago they may include the tariff fees when you check out, Trump said that was a hostile political act. And then Amazon said that they never even were going to do that in the first place. Trump said, quote, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices. Tariffs are the reason. Between Walmart and China, they should just eat the tariffs. A rep for Walmart could not be reached, but Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said on Thursday the retailer could not absorb all the tariff costs because of narrow retail margins. Even so, he said, the company was committed to ensuring that tariff-related costs on general merchandise would not drive food prices higher. It shouldn't drive food prices higher, but Trump, for the businessman that he is, does not understand that CEOs and boards have a fiduciary duty to maximize profits. I'm not saying it should be that way. I'm not saying it ought to be that way, but I'm saying that it is that way in America. And when Trump is looking at these companies and asking them to not have a bigger profit margin, he's going against the very grain of the system he's benefited from. Again, this isn't me saying that Walmart should price gouge and that I love price gouging. I'm just saying, Trump, you can't only call out the price gouging when it is clearly really linked back to your tariffs, right? It's an insane economic policy, as everything he does is. What about this? This is a big one. Moody's rating service on Friday said it is downgrading the U.S.'s credit worthiness in response to an increase in government debt over the past decade and rising interest payments, in a blow to the Trump admin that could push up borrowing costs. The downgrade, which puts the U.S. one notch below the highest credit rating, was, quote, driven mainly by increased interest payments and debt. You know, this line right here, it says this is a blow to the Trump administration. I think it's more of a blow to the American people rather than Trump admin, but I get what they're saying. The PR aspect of this will actually hurt Trump. You know Trump doesn't like to see this headline. Moody's message: the fiscal outlook has not improved since the firm put the federal government on notice in November of 2023 that it was at borrower risk. The announcement comes as Republicans are debating Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill that would extend 2017 tax cuts, with some hardline conservatives fighting to limit the increase to federal spending benefits. This is supposed to increase the deficit by $4 trillion. $4 trillion in spending, which is insane. Successive U.S. administrations and Congress have failed to agree on measures to reverse the trend of large annual fiscal deficits. And I'm going to leave it at that. The Trump admin is not doing a good job, and you can tell. I mean, nothing gives me more confidence in my president than seeing him send out 5 or 6 all caps Truth Social posts while I'm still having my morning coffee. So drop a like, subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, I have 2 questions. Number 1, can you comment, "Hi Adam," so I can see if you made it this far. I can see who the true OGs are. And number 2, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Love you all and peace out.